I like to do it on the treadmill because you can get kind of instantaneous feedback. Obviously, you don't have a treadmill here. Sorry, let me get this on. So if I know you're barefoot, but do you want to run around like down, back and forth here? It takes like a minute or two to gather just some data, so we can do that. So kind of tell you what it is. It's basically a wearable 3D gait lab. And so this is a sensor, neoprene belt, so it's slip-proof, waterproof. You wear it on the skin around L5, S2, so it doesn't move at all. It doesn't slip. And you put it on and we'll start it, and then you go run for a few minutes. It starts tracking data. So it's gonna look at your dynamic hip stability. It's gonna look at if there's any asymmetries, and then what's called your impact loading. And that's broken up into impact magnitude. So like your peak magnitude, how hard you're hitting the ground, and then impact duration. So how well you're able to absorb that impact.
Gotcha.
And so it gives you a running score. It's user friendly, it's color coordinated. So green's really good, yellow's a little elevated, orange is high, red is like bad, right? And so it's really unique. So let's set you up, get you started, and I'll kind of show you a little rundown, and I can email you a report afterwards. You cool doing a little consent form? And
Right, so we're strapping him up now.
He did, strapped up. So we're gonna hit remote session, so you can actually go out this door, run for at least a minute, and then kind of finish right here, and then once you step in, I'll stop it.
All right.
Okay, all right. I think it's gonna be a long time.
Oh, this guy's getting video.
You got gypped, man.
I ain't getting famous online.
I might.
3D.
Well, nice to meet you. You have a very good day. I'll see you next time, I'm sure. We're gonna get some more.
Nice, dude. Awesome.
Wasn't expecting a workout, damn.
Hang on, it's there it goes. Yeah. We're like, where do you go?
Yeah, I figured it's just easier to go around the corner and not break stride, you know?
Yeah, exactly. 61, man, look at that.
What's that?
It's pretty good. So the score is, it's gonna score you 0 to 100% based on the studies that Run Easy has done. It's general population. So 50% is actually an average. It's decent. It's like right down the middle. Anything more than that, it's pretty good. And then here, so 61% is your score. You could tell by the color up here, symmetry is your biggest issue. Dynamic stability is pretty good. Your impact loading is good, which I find is when people run barefoot, it seems to be, they're not landing as hard, obviously, right?
It's probably a big piece of it because I was intentionally trying to not land on my heels because there's a lot of pressure there, especially without shoes.
Exactly. So a lot of things that we can look at here, which I won't go, I'll go into some of them. So expert center, dynamic stability. You're a little bit elevated on the right for stability. Like I said, you're landing pretty good. You're in the green there. It's measured in G's, gravitational force. So 3.1, 3.5 is good. Impact duration, the longer that number is, the better, right? You're better able to absorb that load. So the longer in milliseconds, the better. You're a little bit less on the right, which is interesting, right? So a little bit less instability on the right hip, but also not quite absorbing it as good on the right as you are on the left. You can look at kind of trend lines too. So you can run for an hour and then look at kind of how you're trending. Impact magnitude. Let's go to impact duration here. So better absorption, the worse. You can break it up into right and left leg. So your right leg down here is a little bit worse over time. You can look at your ground contact time. Here's your stability, right? So right leg is this red, blue is down here. So better stability, worse stability. Okay. And so you can look at trends, which is really nice. You can even print these forms. This one I like here. You go to see recommendations, and this is the form PDF that I'll email you. It'll tell you your weakest link, and it'll also give you a QR code and a link that's going to take you to a page about that. and it's gonna give you some information on how you can improve it and what that means. So it's really awesome stuff.
So that's the real kicker.
Your cadence is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your cadence is pretty high, 193 steps per minute, which is
that's higher than I normally run.
Yeah.
Going out for running, so.
You don't normally run barefoot, do you?
No.
Yeah, so maybe that has to do it. But
He just ran around the block barefoot. That's awesome.
yeah. So recommendations here, just kind of gives a blur. We detected lower stability on the right leg.
And to the right, to the right.
To support your grounded running style, perform exercises that focus on developing and improving hip mobility and hip flexibility and strength. So like if I go ahead and print this out or email it to you, I'll show you what the link looks like. Let's go to save the files, save.
We're nerding out over here.
And then what's really cool here is run. So you can scan that. You can print it out and scan it or click this link. Well, right here is symmetry, right? Symmetry is your worst one. Let's open up a link. It'll take you to this prove it. Gives you kind of a scale here based on your score. Overloading pattern, just some information, right?
So you can learn what to do about your specific condition.
Yep, and then you can change a parameter and look into those, impact loading, and then the other one too. So it's really neat. And the nice thing about this is I like to combine it with my 2D like visualization. So I'll put this on somebody on a treadmill and I'll set up tripod and look at it from a side view, look at it from a rear view.
Yeah.
That way
it really gives the data to what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
you know you can look at it and you can say, okay, it looks a little off, but like once you can
Yes.
contextualize what those exact
Exactly.
points of emphasis are, it really helps you to
Exactly.
pinpoint it.
So I was certified and trained in a different program where I can categorize kind of visually, like and categorize. Are you overstriding? Are you like weaving? Are you bouncing? Are you unstable, instability? There's a couple different categories that we use, but looking at that, tying into some of the data that we have here, then we can start to formulate, hey, where are we going to start at with your running, especially if somebody's in pain, right? And pain changes everything, so we got to take care of that part first, and then go from there. And so somebody that's not in pain, but they want to kind of maybe tidy up some things a little bit, become more efficient, this is really nice. And so we can do this, like I said, over and over and over again and see how you get better
So
at
I'm
it.
like just getting into running
Yeah.
now.
Cool.
I started back in November.
Yeah.
Trained for a Spartan race and
Yeah, nice.
have kind of picked it up and doing a triathlon on Sundays.
Sweet, dude. Yeah.
Just like getting into that whole lifestyle.
That's how I am
It's
too.
like-
I've been getting more into that too last couple of years, especially more endurance stuff. Because I was always a sprinter. I was a football player. I hated long distance.
Yeah.
But as I get older, I'm starting to enjoy it a little more.
Dude, that runner size, no joke.
It's no joke, man. It's a real thing. So I know what you mean, man. That's why I love working with endurance athletes too, just because I love being very objective about things too, and being able to really measure things and not just being super like subjective gray area. And this type of stuff really allows me to do that. And so, yeah, man. If you ever want to kind of do a complete running assessment, or if you have any injuries or pain, we can get it established.